What is going on, everyone? My name is Jared Haas, and welcome to the Best See the Track. For this weekend, we're at Wide Technology Raceway, and joining us at the track is none other than our sports car and TV critic, Phil Allaway. Phil, we just got done with a Camping World Truck Series race, which a lot of things happened. A lot of wrecks. Carson Hocevar had to go to the hospital, too. But I want to talk about that late race restart. So we had Eckes, who's on the pole, was going to have first pick, and then you had Derek Kraus, who's on the outside looking in. He was starting, he had second pick, but he picked behind Eckes. As it turned out, Kyle Busch Motorsports trucks finished first and third. What are your thoughts with Kraus? And do you think he should have picked the inside, or was it just Kyle Busch Motorsports having that push on the bottom?
In all honesty, I mean, I look at this and yes, they needed to actually try to separate the KBM trucks out there because, I mean, you saw the beginning of this race out there today. They were 1, 2, 3, and they were running away from everyone else. No one else could really touch them. I mean, obviously, John Hunter Nemechek was out of the race, but the other two were still up there and really strong. You had to separate them, and it was a tactical error on Kraus and the McAnally Hilgeman racing team's part. The idea of Eckes failing to really get going quickly, that wasn't expected, but it happened and it screwed him over, unfortunately. At least Derek can actually walk away with in a fairly good mood. He wasn't really angry when I talked to him.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to note that in a post-race, he said he wanted to play it safe. But he's right now outside the playoff cut by a good margin. I think it's about 44 points or so that he's behind the cut line. You kind of have to, like I said, put all your eggs in a basket and go win it if you're in the opportunity to win it. But on the counterpoint is, too, one of the big reasons why that inside line worked, those Kyle Busch Motorsports trucks were one against each other, too. So he was in a tough situation, but Kraus did manage up to get a top 10 and a good finish. That's a positive side to look at, too. Phil, I want to look forward to the Cup Series race that is coming up here tomorrow. First ever race for the Cup Series. They've never raced here before. Xfinity's raced here in the past, not over in a decade or so. But it's pretty interesting how it relatively compares to Phoenix. We saw here at Gateway, Ford's dominated in qualifying. Kind of did the same at Phoenix. Ford won here at Phoenix as well with Briscoe. What are the drivers saying about this track? Like I said, we saw a lot of action in the Truck Series. Are we going to see more of a Martinsville type of race, the Coca-Cola 600 type of race? What type of racing are we going to see at Gateway?
What I think you're going to see is probably very similar to a Phoenix race. This was the big topic in all the driver availabilities that we had in the media center this weekend. They believe that this is going to be the race that's the most like the championship race in Phoenix. And you're going to have somewhat similar weather to Phoenix as well, which makes it even more important to do well. More specifically, it's going to be a lot like what you saw today, just with less wrecking, more than likely. The idea is get what you can early, and then it's going to end up being like a one-groove racetrack. It's going to be hard to make any hay. It might be the tougher the pass with the additional downforce that the Cup cars have with that rear diffuser. And so basically, you're going to see everyone try to get what they can, and then we'll see what happens beyond that point. But the only time they've had a 300-mile NASCAR race here was the first Xfinity race here, and that took 3:48 to complete. 300 miles? I don't see that happening. There'll probably be some accidents out here, but this isn't going to be a 4-hour race.
Like I said, hopefully it's not going to be competing to the Coca-Cola 600. That took quite a while, too. I think it was, like I said, well over 5 hours. Longest
5:13.
Yeah, 5:13, quite a bit. So hopefully Gateway doesn't end up that way. Hopefully we get a good action-filled race here at Gateway. Phil, I'm going to go to our favorite segment of the race, picks of the race. Last weekend I had Trenton for the Coca-Cola 600. And we had some solid picks, but we just both had some bad luck. He picked Kurt Busch, who was on the outside pole sitter for the Coca-Cola 600. I had William Byron. Both were involved in the big one on the restart. Kurt finished one position ahead of Byron, so like I said, you guys at the track get another point on me, but that's just bad luck racing. I want to hear your thoughts. Who's going to win the inaugural race here at Wide Technology Raceway?
Honestly, I seriously believe it's going to be Austin Cindric. He's starting second tomorrow. He's pretty strong out here. He's strong in practice. I think that given that a lot of this field doesn't have much experience, although a whole quarter of the starting grid has actually won here before. I believe it's 4 drivers in the Xfinity Series, 6 in trucks, and 1 in both, that being Kevin Harvick. But I feel like it's going to be Cindric's day. And if he does, it'll probably put him back in the top 16 in points and fully guarantee his playoff spot.
Cindric is an interesting pick. You know, he had obviously his Daytona 500, not really made some noise since that win. But like I said, as we alluded earlier, it's like a Phoenix type of track. And what we've seen in the past, Briscoe won at the spring Phoenix race, but Penske has been dominant. And who's been dominant this weekend? Blue Ovals. And who's been dominant also as well? Joey Logano. Had a little hiccup in qualifying, but that's going to be a fast forward that you're going to have to look out for. And that's why I'm picking him. I'm surprised you left him on the table, but I'm going to have to go with the odds-on favorite of Logano to win this race. Phil, it was a pleasure to have you on the show. Like I said, we're having this debut race in the inaugural Wide Technology Raceway. And from everyone here at Frontstretch.com, subscribe and have a great race weekend.